Hey everybody, Nicole here with the Gadget Repair Expo. We are just less than a week out from the show, less than 7 days out from the show, and I'm here with these amazing people to do a live and talk about what they're going to be doing at the expo. I'm also going to be giving away free ticket codes, so watch your screen for that free ticket code if you haven't got your ticket yet. And then we're going to just talk about different things going on at the show. Of course, we have our schedule that is constantly being updated. And yeah, so let's go ahead and go around the room. So I'll kind of let's move this way. So Jim, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? What do you do? What company are you with? And you guys are doing the League of Pros. You can see that amazing graphic that you guys have printed out back there. So you can touch on that a little bit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Adams. I am the director over here at Protection Pro. Been in this role for 5 years, but previously working for one of the distributors of Protection Pro for the 3 years prior to that. So I've been around our solution, our product lines, and our business for the last 8 years. Based down here in Pinellas Park, Florida, living in Sarasota. And we're really excited to be back at the event. It's been a while since we were there directly ourselves. We've been there as in and other partners' booths over the years, but I'm pretty excited now to be there on our own. And we've got some really exciting stuff going on. I could get into that more now, or if we could come back, circle back around and give everybody else a chance to introduce. That's up to you.
Let's do that because I want to go a little bit deep dive on what's going on with the competitions. I like to cover the competitions on every call, especially since we're so close. We have a lot of people signed up, but not a lot to where you can't win. So sign up and compete. We'll go over the competitions in a minute. All right, go ahead. We're going to go to Rocky. You're muted, Rocky, just so you know.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Rocky with Drive Savers Data Recovery, based out here in the West Coast, San Francisco Bay Area. I've been with Drive Savers for, since 2012, 2011. I've had a multitude of roles, from speaking with customers who are in the "oh no, where's my data" moment, out to working with a multitude of partners, such as smartphone, computer repair, all the way on out to large-scale storage manufacturers. But excited to be in Miami next week. Excited to speak to everyone at our booth, and really looking forward to GRE next week.
Thank you, Rocky. If you are watching or listening, there is a free ticket code on the screen. It is not too late to attend this show, and I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. I always say this show is bigger than any other show, and I don't know if it'll be big like this again, but we always seem to outdo ourselves the next year. But I'm telling you, this year is jam-packed, and it's a jam-packed 2-day show. So some people out there in the world, they attend expos and they leave after the first day. You should really try to stay 2 days. 2 days day 2 is jam-packed. We have the CGC competitions. We have amazing speakers like B-Stock. We have demos like MacBook repair demo. So it is not too late. Miami is just a flight away. There's a lot of good deals on hotel, and you can get your free ticket. So make sure you guys get that code. Okay, Camden, go ahead. It's your turn.
Hey there, guys. I'm Camden. Despite the mustache, I probably am the youngest that will be on these live streams, but I'm super pumped to be here. I'm with Red Wolf Technology, and I'm with the business development department. And so Red Wolf Technology, we're an electronics accessory business, but specifically we specialize in on-demand, whether it's on-demand screen protectors. And right now we're super, super excited that we're launching our on-demand cases that will be launched at the show. We can talk more about that a little bit later, but it's something we're really, really passionate about, is being on demand. And we focus on primo, which is an Italian word for first. So whether it's first in the market, leader in the market, everything we want is to be first or to be primo.
Nice. That's really cool. Okay. All right, Chatty, go ahead. If somebody doesn't know who you are.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm Chatty Boutros from Command Center. We're launching our new POS at GRE. Really excited about it. I've been in this industry 15 years with repair shops, and you're going to love what you see. But you got to go to GRE. If not for Command Center or for Nicole, go for yourself. I'm telling you, I've watched this grow for the last 5 years. I'm a good friend of Brian's, and a lot of people are going. So if you want to make money, and obviously you do, because you're in the repair industry, go. You won't regret it. It's worth a plane ticket. It's worth a drive. It's worth everything. And bring one of your associates. I'm bringing one of my guys. I think we're going to get the most out of it that way. So see you there.
Yeah, it's really going to be a great show. It's at Miami Convention Center, which is a beautiful location. It's right by the beach. And we got a lot of fun things going on, which takes me over to Protection Pro. So you guys are doing the League of Pros, which is a screen installation, protection, not screen. Like screen protection installation competition, and whoever's the fastest, best quality is going to receive one of your machines, and you have some other prizes. So give us a little rundown, Jim. How's it going to work? What can people look forward to? I know you guys have some VR stuff going on.
It's simply going to be a head-to-head contest. You'll get a chance to decide whether you want to do a dry install or a wet install with our premium films. These are our cut-on-demand solution-based films. You'll be installing on the same mobile phone type, so everything will be head-to-head, very, very equal. The timer will start, and then you'll take off and do your installation, and whoever does it the fastest and at an acceptable quality finish will be the winner of that heat, and you'll go on to subsequent heats to follow, and ultimately the grand prize winner gets a big trophy, but more importantly, gets bragging rights, and you'll walk away with one of our top shelf systems machines and an array of films with it, worth well over $1,500. So it's a pretty good prize for the fastest finisher.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. We've already had people sign up. And if you guys are watching this and you're nervous about signing up for competitions because you think, well, they must have 100 people signed up, that's just not true. You actually have a legitimate chance to win these competitions. For example, we have our GRE micro soldering competition, and the winner is going to walk away with $2,500 cash. We're just about to announce, yesterday we just found out that Pace is going to be giving a soldering station. I don't know the exact name of it, but I'm going to be posting information about it today. So whoever wins the GRE micro soldering competition gets money, all that money, prizes, and walks away with equipment. And you have a real chance to win. It's just an HDMI port. So we wanted to make it a little more simpler this year, so then more people would feel confident to compete. We know in previous years the soldering job was considered very difficult, and some people were a little worried to compete. But if you can change an HDMI port on a PS5, you have the potential to win. We have our screen swap competition going on, which is a $1,500 prize. And then we have our CGC events on day 2, which you win a trip to China. So we know how that is. I don't know. Who here has been to China?
Oh, I've been many times.
Really?
Just went
I've never been.
just barely.
Really? Okay, Rocky, I'm not alone. You've not been to China?
I have not. So at least there's 2 of us here. Would love to go,
Right.
but I haven't been yet.
Like, how can I learn how to solder an HDMI port in less than 5 days? Yeah. So tell us, okay, I want each of you to give us something exciting about what a China trip would mean for someone that owns a shop to you, in your opinion. Okay. So Camden, I'll let you go first, and then we'll go to Jim, and then we'll go to Chatty. But basically think of it this way. There's a shop owner watching right now. They've got the ability to solder an HDMI port, or maybe one of their technicians does. And they have the opportunity to compete, and they win. And now they get a 14-day fully paid trip, food. They're going to help with your visa, or whatever documents you need to get there. And you're going to compete in China, representing the United States. You will be the USA's representative in that competition against other countries. So this is all the countries' winners from Colombia and Egypt are coming to China to do one competition. So you will be the representative of the US. So after the competition, they're actually going to take you on a few days tour of China. They're going to take you to different factories. You're going to get to explore the culture. So from people that have been to China, tell shop owners how big of an opportunity that is, especially with it being paid. Hampton, go ahead.
Oh my God, it would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Such an awesome opportunity. When there's lots of, it's very culturally different, and it's very just amazing how what they've been able to achieve in China. Just the daily life experiences I thought were so interesting. Their train system is amazing. Many times I would get off that. It's just a tap on your phone. You just walk right through. I would go from train to train and not break stride. It was incredible. And when you're upstairs in Hong Kong, it was like Amsterdam, but with motorcycles, just rows upon rows of people riding their electric motorcycles all up and down.
I've never been to Amsterdam, so that reference doesn't.
They're famous for their bikes. Yeah, they're
We gotta
famous.
get you out.
Yeah, we're gonna get you wanting to travel everywhere after this show, because I bet these fellows over here are even more well traveled than I am. But it was something truly incredible. And about visiting the factories, it's very interesting to be able to appreciate how your product is made. I was able to visit some of our factories for some of our products, and it made me realize, oh wow, like there is a lot that goes into something even so simple as whether it be screen protectors, whether it be cutting machine, whatever it is. It's all, you get to see the products that you use day to day, and you get to see exactly step by step of how it's created. And so I think that'll be a really cool opportunity, especially if they're getting to tour these factories. It'll be something that you just don't see as much in America. Culturally, that's just not a part of the jobs that we have.
And a lot of people that run shops, or even staff of people that run shops, don't have the opportunity to go on trips like this and actually have, there's a lot of people that can travel like that and spend 10, 15 grand on a trip. You know what I mean? But then there's a huge chunk of people out there that just can't, they can't go and put all that into a trip. That's like a trip of a lifetime. You know what I mean? And all you have to do is be able to solder a CPU. So you have to do a CPU repair. Now, I don't know anything about what that takes. I don't know how difficult it is, but if you're someone that does solder CPUs, you can go and have a chance at winning, and maybe compete against 20 people, maybe 20. So these competitions, they don't have 70, 80 people sign up. They'll have 20 to 30 people is generally the average number of signups to compete. So you have a real chance at winning, and not just representing the US, but representing your company. So your company will really be on the map, even if it's a company you work for. So owners, if you're watching this and you have an employee that can solder CPU, they're working under your brand. So that's going to be a great opportunity. So, all right. What about you, Jim? What do you think as far as going to China? You probably agree with Camden here about how it'd be cool to see where your stuff is made.
Well, the great part of going to China, if it's your first trip, and if Hong Kong is your gateway airport into the region, assuming you're going into the Shenzhen, Dongguan regions, Hong Kong is just an amazing city. To see the density of the population living up so many stories and so many high rises, it's dizzying to imagine living in a space like that, so close together, so many people, and it somehow all works. And as Camden said, then using the public transportation to get from Hong Kong over the border into Shenzhen area is amazing. And the thing to imagine when you get to Shenzhen is that it literally didn't exist 20 years ago. It was just desolate countryside, a small village type area, and now Shenzhen proper, the city, is now just about 18 million people, and that all that built up in less than a 20-year period of time. But I truly hope that if you do get there and they take you out, I hope they get you all the way across China to the Shanghai side. Shanghai is just, in my opinion, the most beautiful city in mainland China. It's so cosmopolitan. It's the banking capital of China. It's beautiful. It has a beautiful river with many shops and restaurants are right around it, and it's vibrant. It really is vibrant, and it's so different than Shenzhen, but it's a good look at the other side of China too. So get out to the countrysides and see everything in between if it's possible, if they give you that chance to get out. It's a wonderful place to visit.
because the people that are actually doing the tour with them have been there many times. Like one of them in particular, Anna. So she's the founder of For All Fix, and they're there all the time. And she's super excited because she said going to China for her first time ever was like so exciting for her, and she's just excited to see that for someone else. So, I'm pretty sure they can request it. And what I like about it is you have people there that so it's not like you're kind of traveling alone. I don't like to travel international because I don't like to travel alone. And so this is like great for someone that's like always wanted to go somewhere like that and maybe just didn't want to go alone because they don't know what to expect. Are they going to be able to figure things out, how to get around? And so it's a great opportunity. Thank you, Jim. So Chatty, what about you? How do you follow this up? Do you have something else, or did they sum it up pretty good?
I love China. I mean, if you're serious about the industry, you should go to China. 15 years ago, I decided to follow one of my packages to China. And I went to China and I started a wholesale company. It was very, very exciting. And this was before mobile centrics, before injured gadgets, before you could have next day delivery. We had to order from China and wait. The delivery was actually pretty fast. It'd be 3 days. But I'm telling you, I went to 4 or 5 different markets. It's amazing. If you're serious about business, I'm not a tourist. I went there to make money. Go to China, go check out the markets. You'll find something you want to sell. It'll change your life. That's all I got.
That's great. I'm with you on that. Yeah, could you imagine the different products that you would see?
Everything.
Yeah, I would be probably looking at stuff like, oh my gosh, I could sell this, I could sell that.
Accessories from like streets of vendors with accessories, every accessory you want, every different grade of screen, everything that you want. Like when you go and you buy from a wholesaler now, you just see what's on their catalog. When you go to China, you see China's catalog.
That's great.
It's a lot bigger.
Thank you,
That
Chad.
catalog's a lot bigger than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. Rocky, so Rocky, do you solder CPUs? I mean, Drive Savers does, right? I mean, well, I don't know actually. Do you guys solder there? I'm pretty sure. No.
Oh, absolutely. I've
Okay.
attempted. I think my soldering days ended with back in high school putting sound systems in cars. But we have a lot of folks who can solder here. But I myself am, we had a day where we could kind of see what everyone does and take a look at what our folks in our clean room do, what our
Nice.
flash physical engineers do. And I just even getting close, my hands were too shaky. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to leave it to the professionals and step back. Of course, this was, not on any type of customer device. This was all just, to see what our engineers do on a day basis for all of our employees, which was really cool to see what they do. So in short, I do not.
Yeah, that's actually great. I mean, I think that's wonderful as a company. Go ahead, Drive Savers, because especially when you work in a company that is larger or is growing, you look at other people and their jobs and you may think, I don't know what that person does. They're just kind of walking around, or you don't know how things happen and you don't know the value of every little task that goes around, goes on within the company. So I think that's actually a good work environment to share what each other does, like I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. Victor saying he's super excited. I know, can't wait. Victor, are you competing? What are you competing in? Okay. Now, Rocky, I'm going to say, is Drive Savers going to bring like one of their best CPU? I mean, it would be pretty cool. If you won, Drive Savers would go to China and be representing the US as a competitor.
We are sponsoring the event, so
Yes.
I don't think we have anyone competing.
Okay.
But that's cool to see that. I will say, when I saw it was an PS5 HDMI port repair, I had
the
friend
China
of
trip
mine.
is not that. So the one that you're sponsoring is the GRE one, which is the HDMI port. But the next day, the CGC is. So you guys are able to compete. I mean, no, we even have judges competing. So, the judges from the other events. So if it's not too late and you have someone that can do CPU, have them sign up for the CGC. You never know, it could happen.
Yeah, I was just mentioning, I think in that competition, the HDMI port is an awesome event because so many people are doing them these days. I feel like that is one of those repairs that I'm sure any shop owner is like, yeah, we've got 3, 4, 5 on the rack right now. So that
Yeah.
kind of open for all.
Yeah, and you get to keep a PS5. So these PS5s are brand new. I know that because I was a part of the process of buying them all. And so you actually get to take one home if you're the winner too. So the winner is walking away with a lot.
One of my buddies
Nice.
out here. Oh my goodness.
Huh? Say that one more time, Camden.
I'll have to fly one of my buddies out here. Oh my goodness, if you're offering out PS5s.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you win the HDMI competition on day one, you get $2,500 plus a soldering iron station. Again, I don't know the exact name of it. And then you also get to keep a PS5. So the
Oh,
winner for just soldering an HDMI port, which a lot of technicians can do. So I'm expecting to see some more signups and people bite the bullet and actually try. I think people get scared to compete. They just don't want to be like put on the spot, but it's really not that way. It's a very fun environment. Nobody's laughing at you. Everybody is nervous. Everybody's having a good time. And you have a real capability to win, and then you also get listed on our website. So you won't go to China for soldering an HDMI port, but you will get listed on our site and walk away with really, really cool stuff. But again, if you can solder a CPU, sign up for the CGC event. All you have to do is go to our website and sign up to compete. Yeah, so let's go around the room a little bit. I want to hear a little bit more about your guys' companies and exactly, what you do. I know we kind of did introductions already, but if there's new people watching, also, are you giving any special deals at your booth? Anything that someone should be aware of? I need to stop by that booth because, like yesterday, I was on live with Tony Baker with GSM Warehouse, who sells devices. And for example, he sells all of his devices at cost at the show. So if you come by the booth, he's stocked with devices and stocked with deals and ready to sell. So what is something, some vendors do discounts, some vendors do giveaways, drawings, different things like that. So what are some things that you guys are doing at your booth? Jim, I'll let you go first. Of course, we know you've got the League of Pros. I can't wait to see your guys' setup.
yeah, sure. We always have show specials, and this show's no different. And it all starts with providing a big fat discount off of our cutting machines, which is the cut on demand screen protection. That's the base of business, and there'll be savings of no less than $200 on 2 of the packages and $300 off on 2 of the other packages. So $200 to $300 off the cutting machine and an array of film to go along with it. So that's going to be our show specials. Yeah.
That's awesome, because if somebody's been on the fence about getting a new machine, maybe they already have one and they want to change it, or they never did it and they want to get a deal, this is like the perfect, it's like Black Friday for the repair industry.
Well, the greatest part about it is when you sell all the film, your actual return on investment will be between 4 and 5x. So you're making a ton of money, almost 5 times what you're investing in the system.
That's really awesome. All right, Rocky, you're also a speaker. So do you want to talk a little bit about what is your goal with your speaking session? So Drive Savers helps shop owners with their customers, right? So you've got Protection Pro, they have the film, the cutter, all of that. But you guys are working with shops that maybe it's a data issue, right? So someone brings in a device and it's kind of like what they feel is beyond economical repair and they just want their data. I'll let you explain because I'm doing a lot of assuming here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we stay in our lane. All we do is data recovery. So we're kind of, and sometimes the last resort for someone's family photos or maybe their Bitcoin or cryptocurrency wallet. So we step in at a point where a device is destroyed, it can't be repaired, whatever it might be, and we do whatever it takes to pull the data off of there. We wouldn't be, say, repairing the device. And I'm going to be speaking on how to integrate data recovery into potentially your business, as well as the number one being not saying no to a customer. I mean, I can imagine if I had a device that was completely destroyed and I had to speak to a customer and say, you know what, there's nothing I can do. I Google it. That might not be the best answer, of course. So getting someone into, a vetted provider who can reunite that customer with those precious memories.
Nice. Now there is a comment, but I don't know. Does this? I don't know that this is. I was text. Is this ringing a bell to you, Rocky, or no? I'm like, I don't know if this comment is really. We'll take it down. I'm not exactly sure. I was like, well, I don't
That
want
is
to
not my
assume.
expertise.
I know. I'm like,
No,
really.
you're in the
It's like
textile business.
wrong live.
Yeah. The other room.
Yeah.
Maybe
other
it's
live.
the background. I'm not sure. But
Right. So that's really cool. That's really important for people to know, because a lot of times they're afraid to deal with those types of devices. And I've actually been in this situation many times with clients that have come to our store, well, my stores before when I owned my locations, and then having to outsource it because we just couldn't handle it in-house. But I hated telling people just no. We would have like the saddest stories. Like I remember one time, it was so sad. A guy came in and it was his teenage son who had passed away, and he had like an iPhone 5 and he couldn't get into it, but he just wanted the stuff off of it. And we ended up outsourcing it. He ended up having to, I connected them with him. I actually wasn't too involved with it at that time. Probably now you guys have a process where the shop is more dealing with the customer directly. But for me, the person I outsourced it to, I just kind of connected them, but he ended up was able to get his stuff off of there. But this guy was like, I'll pay anything. He's like, there's nothing I won't pay to get this. I want the voice messages. I want videos, and so, I think it's really great what you guys do, and that shops can offer it without having to be able to do it on their own. So always glad to have you guys there. Thank you. All right, Camden, tell us a little bit about Red Wolf a little bit more. What is it exactly that you guys do? You guys have different tools. For me, I've seen all kind of tools out of you guys. So like, what is your main thing? What do you do with all these tools?
Yeah, so our main thing, we have our screen protector cutter machine, which Protection Pro has and knows a lot about as well. We have our screen polishing machine.
Oh, okay.
Our
Okay, I've seen
polish that allows you to polish and buff out scratches in your phone and on your Apple Watches as well.
And this is retail size. I mean, this is something someone can have in their shop.
Yeah, this is a
lot of times shop owners, when they think screen buffing, they think factory. They think
they think of the industrial size big ones.
Right. They don't think of themselves. So this is really important that are you guys going to be displaying any of this equipment at your booth or not? I don't know, but
yeah, that's a great question. So we'll be displaying our cutters and we'll be displaying our printer. We've brought the polisher to GRE many times, so many of the attendees know what it is. They've seen it. But we're really, really excited on the breakthroughs that we have on our printer that have been, that's a Bamboo Labs printer. We have a partnership with that brand that are just there and amazing. They love what we're doing. Last year at the show, we came with our cases that were harder, more rigid. It was definitely earlier in the process, but now we've seen a lot of traction with their flexible cases on demand. We've done trips and studies with case creating. I would say, like, it sounds ironic, but people who have dedicated their life to making cases. We've had meetings with them where we've met with them for days, and we feel like we finally have it. And so with these cases, it's getting everything you could ever want. We have MagSafe that can be included. We have a 15-minute case for those who just want something on their phone. With custom designs. And so we're really excited to have a booth here at the show. We were definitely later in the game getting into the show, but we wanted to make sure we had everything secured and everything ready to go big. And so we're excited.
You're doing a demo.
Yeah.
You're doing a demo, so you're gonna actually have an hour where you're gonna be demo. Well, that's not really a demo. You're gonna be speaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if what you guys are exactly gonna do in there, but we do have your topic online. So if you guys, anybody watching, if you're interested in attending that session, just go check out the schedule online, and you'll get some details there. Are you the one that's gonna be doing that session, Camden?
Yeah, it's either going to be me or one of my colleagues, but yeah, it'll
All right.
probably end up
Okay.
being me.
Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, Chatty, last but definitely not least, tell us a little bit more about Command Center and why you've decided to launch it here at the GRE. How long did it, take you to, this has been a long time coming. You've made this software awesome, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Sure. I'll definitely go in that. But before that, I think you guys got to come and see, Protection Pro. You got to come see Camden. You got to go see Rocky about Drive Savers data recovery. There's so many different things that you got to see at GRE. Everything that's been discussed so far today is something that's going to make you money, whether you use it. The last time I spoke, I can't remember her name, but she represents the company that does FedEx.
Anna.
Yeah,
Oh
Anna.
no, that was 71 pound.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what she did is she goes through, if I understood her correctly, all of your orders for the month, and if anything was shipped late, she gets you credits on that.
And they only charge you a small percentage from the money that you get back. So their service is completely free to you up front. Like there's no money you're paying them. When you get the payment, they take a percentage of that. And they actually can go back like 2 years, I think it was that she said. That call was very eye-opening for me. I didn't know that this existed, and I thought it was amazing. Yeah, they'll be there. So
Yeah, me neither. And I was just like, wow, I'm probably going to use that service, because I do a lot of shipping. So there's just so much. You're going to be around all these business owners that all have one thing in common. They like making money. Now, there'll be different vendors. You choose which ones you like. But you're not going to meet these people on Facebook posts, but you'll meet them at GRE. So, yeah, I think you all should go. So let's talk about Command Center. All right.
Yeah.
So I've been in this industry 15 years, back when you'd order parts from China, wait a week, and they'd show up wrapped in toilet paper. All right. And not they showed up in toilet paper. And I remember, I actually started one of the first wholesale companies, and we grew really fast. Anyway, we're not in that market anymore. And I went and I started using all these different POSs. Now, look, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to tell you your POS is no good, or this guy's. There's so many great POSs on the market, and I've looked at most of them, and they're all really good. Now, at the time when I built mine, they all really they were awful. Like they were awful. Okay, like they had nothing to do with repair. They had slow loading times. The interfaces never made any sense. And as a repair shop owner, like I have some high. I couldn't even get time to set them up because I get frustrated really easily. If something doesn't make sense, I just give up. I'm like, I want computers to do what I want them to do. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't want.
I know.
I don't want to learn something new. I just want it easy. And with repair centers, it's tough. You have the work order channel, you have the device channel, you have the resale channel, you have special orders that are based on different categories, you have diagnostics and testing, you have pricing, you have so many different elements that are always changing every day. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to build something that just makes sense. So I've got a technology background and a sales background and a marketing background. So I kind of just put it all together. And another thing, I have an inventory background because at my store, I answer the calls, I take care of the incoming inventory, I do the special orders, I'm doing packing and delivery, I set the prices. I found that I do everything, and our stores do about $3 million a year, so they're really busy.
How many stores do you have, Chatty, again right now?
5 stores. 5. We just opened it not too long ago. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
I run everything from one store. That's how I do it. And it works really well. All the calls, everything. And so I put together a system that made it really easy to do all those things. And man, I've been ripped off so many times by customers. You know, oh, you quoted me this price. Oh, you told me this. Oh, you didn't warn me about this. And it just blows, it pisses me off, you know, because
Yeah, your anger is relatable, I'm sure, to other shop owners.
everyone's the enemy, you know, and everyone wants to rip you off, you know, whether it's intentional or not. Like there was a part at the beginning of this call where I was distracted for a few seconds and I was answering a customer. I get this email and the customer's freaking out that their phone's overheating and there's no communication and it's all our fault. So I sent her an email real quick. I'm like, can you please give me the phone number associated to the repair so I can look at it and unpack it? Bam, she gets me back. Everything's the technician's fault. Well, from that phone number, within 3 seconds, maybe two, I was able to access the diagnostic history, the notes, everything. And I looked, we did an iPhone 11 screen repair. The battery health was 76%. It needed a new front camera. We recommended to replace the front camera, the battery, and the customer said no. Well, I just sent her that information. Obviously, that's why it's overheating. But the fact that I had access to that, like that's what Command Center is. Command Center gives you access to everything with a click of a button. People are going to like it. They're going to like it a lot. I recommend you come take a look at it. And I'm also going to focus on showing you how to get the most out of refurbishing and selling on marketplaces online. So that's what you could expect when you come meet me.
Wow. Yeah, because you have a 1 hour session as well at the expo.
Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody excited to hear your session, but then also see more about Command Center. And I do like that you bring up that there are really good systems on the market right now. But I remember because at one point I had, 10 locations. Now I did start in flea markets. It's a little bit different. It's not retail, but it is high traffic. And it was in different states. And so it's funny because you're probably familiar with Microsoft Access.
Yes, the database,
Okay.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
So at the time when my stores were really in their prime, I struggled with POSs too. There was only like POSs for out of industry, and I was trying to make it. And so I just built my own, but I used my own up until the day that I closed my stores. But which by the way, I wish I would have known what I know now because I would have sold them, but it's a long story. But yeah, so I ended up closing them, but I used my own system as well. So I understand how you ended up getting there because years ago, I mean, just 10 years ago, there wasn't what I remember any big POS for our industry on the market that was really tested and really working really well. So it's pretty cool that I like to see when people actually have shops have software. I love all the softwares out there. They all have their benefits. I know that because there's a shop owner, a person who owns shops behind it, it is very helpful because you're living in their life and you know exactly what they're dealing with. Sure, shops can be different, but in general, we're kind of dealing with the same things in the back end. So that's pretty cool. I do want to remind everybody, here is the free ticket code before we go. I just have one last question for the people here on the call. But first, I want to talk a little bit about who I am because I do not usually introduce myself first. I like to let everybody else do that first. But my name is Nicole. I own Cellbotics. So Cellbotics will be at the expo also. We will have a booth. My daughter, Charity, will actually be there talking to everyone. If you've been to other shows and you're in the industry, you probably know her. She did influencer interviews 2 years ago, and she's been working with me since she could walk, since she was 3. So she knows a lot about Cellbotics. She knows the journey. She knows what we do. So she's actually this year going to run the booth. I'm excited about that. So make sure to stop by and see her and ask her questions. Put her on the spot a little bit. And we do training. So if you're watching this on our channel, specifically, we are on the Cellbotics YouTube channel and some other YouTube channels. But if you're looking to enter the industry and you're wondering, is this show for me? this is where you need to go. Okay. So you may be looking at the industry and debating, should I open a cell phone shop? Should I start doing repairs mobile? And you just really don't have a good overview of the industry. This show is going to give you everything you need. You're going to meet all the people you need to know. You're going to meet all these amazing companies that have all these different products that you may need for your business. And so yes, this show is for you. You can pay for your ticket. It's $99. It's not a big price at all for a show, a 2-day show. Or we give out free codes while I'm live, which the code is on the screen. But get down there, because otherwise you're really shooting in the dark. I mean, you are basing your decision to open a business on YouTube videos, what you see the shop down the street doing, and it's really not the greatest way to go. Or you could come to one of our in-person trainings. We have a location in Philadelphia, or purchase one of our online courses. However, if you're going to purchase an online course, I recommend Repairs First Association. So I also sit on the board for Repairs First, and it's an association that actually started the Gadget Repair Expo. And the reason that we did that is because we knew that there was a need for an expo focused on the repair industry. This is the only show focused on retail repair. This is it. And so, but the RFA is only $69 a month, and you get all of the Cellbotics courses included, all of the online courses included, plus more. From the RFA. So if you're looking for training and you want legitimate training, now I know YouTube has really great stuff, but I'm talking courses that are in order, and you know where you're starting, you know where you're going to end, nothing is left out. Then check out the membership. You don't have to. People will call in and say, well, should we buy a course? And I'm like, just sign up for RFA.
Sorry, Nicole, I
Yeah, go
remember,
ahead.
I think it was about like 10, maybe 8 or 10 years ago. I remember Corey, because we used to work together with Repair Lift, and
Yeah.
he was like, Chad, we got to call Nicole Russell. And I was like, who's that? He's like, this girl, Chad, and she's putting together these courses, and she's really good at this, and I really think that she's going to help a lot of people. When did you start this?
I started it back 2010, 2011. So I had
Yeah.
stores prior to that. It went really quickly, and I wish I would have documented my process, but I never in a million years thought that I would be as visible as I am. Never. Like I'm more of a recluse. I'm actually not, what do they call those people that like love talking to people? And there's people that are like,
Introverts? Extroverts?
I'm actually an introvert. Yeah. And so if you would have told me that I would be speaking at shows, doing social media lives, owning part of the Gadget Repair Expo, I would have laughed at you. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't even like people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was back then. So it went really quickly, because when I had my shops, actually my child's father committed suicide. He was the owner of the shops. And so that's why I closed a bunch of them. People wonder why I didn't sell them. Well, because I didn't know what I was doing. I got thrown these locations at me. I was just working with him. And so when I started to need to hire people and really legitimize the shops, I realized like, oh, wow, there's a problem here. There's no training. And my background is training and accounting. And so it was like a no-brainer for me to put together a course. And Cellbotics just like blew up. I mean, our courses were like really intense, all hands on. We only went online like 4 years ago. It's really been just in person. We would do like 3 classes a month. People would fly in from all over the world, spend a week with me learning repair. And then I would have really intense business discussions with them. I'd spend hours like, with a projector, and like, they've got this 500-page book that I typed up myself. We've got it copywritten. So we put a lot of work into the course, and we were continually changing it. So we have helped a lot of people enter the industry. Some people taken our course and done nothing. That's how it goes. There's implementers and there's ideal people.
Maybe they found it wasn't for them.
It wasn't for them.
They're
Some people
lost.
come to class
They
and they're like,
Yeah.
that too. You can take a course in something and then realize, wow, this really isn't for me. We have had people do that. Like, you know what, this was a really awesome, but it's really opened my eyes that this is a little bit beyond what I want to do. I wanted hands
Better
off.
to do that early than later.
Yes,
Yeah.
you learn that earlier than later is better. And so the RFA has been a game changer for the industry. Is $69 a month, has all these benefits and all of this training included, a white label LMS, all types of things. And then I also sit on the board for the GRE. So that's a little bit about me and who I am. But I want to go around the room and ask you guys a question. I always ask people on these lives, can you give one tip to a business owner right now? They're watching this, they own a shop. One tip in this current market. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Shop owners, some of them, they say they're doing awesome, the best they've ever done. You've got some that saying they're just hanging on by a thread. Can you give any advice from your perspective? And, you guys work with clients in this industry all the time. So give them one tip. Okay. So Jim, go ahead. You want to give one tip to shop owners that are watching for their business?
Right now, it is absolutely essential to pay a lot of attention to supply chain. With all the craziness going on with tariffs right now, it's challenging. It's moving so quickly. And so finding the right answers, dependable answers, so that you get dependable supply at dependable, consistent pricing as possible, to me is the best tip I can give anybody. Really pay attention to that right now. It'll make the difference between winning and losing.
I love that. And I'm actually so glad that you brought that up, because we have some speakers at the show that are going to be touching on supply chain, tariffs, the future of repair, robotics, home robotics. For example, Jeremy, who is the CEO of the executive director of the GRE, and he was the original founder of CPR cell phone repair and still owns the shop. He is going to be touching on tariffs, robotics, the future. What are you looking to do? The good thing about repair skill is that it can be applied to a lot of different electronics. You really just have to open your mind up, find the right education, connect with the right suppliers, and move in that direction. Like, I'm really excited for demos on day 2. We have e-bikes. And the gentleman that we have, it's Christian with my tech bench, my repair tech bench. He is a shop owner, but he actually got a contract with a company that has e-bikes around the city that they rent out. The ones that you kind of park, you pay as you go. Yeah, and he's doing an average of like 7 e-bikes a week, and they're highly profitable repairs. And so he's going to be doing a demo plus talking about how he got those contracts and giving you tips on how you can do the same thing. But that's the future, in-home vacuums, like the little circle ones that kind of move around your house. I mean, those are things that you can fix if you have the right access to information. You have the skill set. So yeah, but supply chain specifically, there are going to be a lot of speakers there touching on that. So I'm excited. If that's topic that you're interested in, be sure to check our schedule and go to some of those sessions. Thank you, Jim. Rocky, what about you?
You mentioned a great point of, some shops saying they're doing great, some shops that are a little slow. And I think, especially if you're going to GRE, there are so many different vendors and or folks you can either partner with, work with, products you can use in your shop. But I always like to say, of course, I said this on the last live, but be curious, not judgmental. Going back to Ted Lasso, talk to those business owners who are doing well. What's working? As you mentioned, the e-bike repair. Is it something where an owner says, "Hey, I've got into console skins, and that's started a new channel of revenue for us." So again, talk to people, find out what's working if you can, and be flexible, and try to add multiple channels of repair revenue. I think that was a great point there.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have like out of industry speakers. So 5 of our speakers are considered out of our industry. So they're bringing in topics that are not relative basically to like a repair shop would think is for them, but it's going to bring you something a little different, AI, business financing, how to, get these larger loans and how to manage it. And so, yes, we have a lot of in-industry speakers and demos, but then we also bring an element of out of industry to expose you to other things that you might be able to bring into your business that you wouldn't have normally considered because you don't think it's in your industry, right? So I'm excited about that. Thank you, Rocky. All right, go ahead, Camden. What is your tip?
Yeah, I love what Rocky said about kind of come with an open mind and being curious. Definitely haven't been in this industry as long as everybody else, but something that's been said to me that I've been able to see as well, that it's just that a lot of this industry is, a lot of it's just kind of the same. A lot of it just, these are the things that have always been done. These are just kind of the mundane things that have always been that way. I'll use the example of cases, right? We've kind of come to a max of people. We know what people like. They like clear. I can't have everything on the shelf. And that's just how it has to be. And that's how it's always been. I just have to pick the top models and hopefully people like them. And so, for example, one thing that we did is we give them an option to build case, to make cases for cases that they normally wouldn't stock. And there are so many other ideas, not necessarily that ours is the
Make
best.
cases. Elaborate what you mean, because you just said make cases.
Sure. Yeah, our software, we're with Bamboo Labs, which is a 3D printing company.
Okay, so that's the word you're missing, because I didn't hear you say that last time. But I did hear you say make cases, and I was like, wait a second. Did you say make cases?
We have software that
3D printing.
To 3D print cases on demand. And our software
that's so cool.
the customer to be able to make them on demand for specifically the pattern and the colors that they would want. And so it's taking something that was considered kind of no solution, that's kind of a necessary evil, and being able to eliminate it. And so there's so many other ideas, like Rocky was saying, that you can find that are like ours, it's great that there are out of industry speakers that are there to kind of give you ideas as to what you can do that may not directly tie into your business, but that can have some sort of a branch off of your business that you can incorporate into your everyday thing. And so GRE is just so many ideas, so many creative people, everyone trying to do something a little bit different, and that little bit different will benefit anyone's business, just being able to separate yourself from somebody else.
It is so true. And that's the goal. Every show, like 8 months before the show, we sit down and say, okay, how can we help shop owners this year? And as we get closer and different things come up, well, how can we help? Oh my goodness, tariffs, who's got a lot of knowledge on that? Well, we go to find speakers about that to address. This is an issue that shop owners are talking about, and not that we, the GRE, are experts, but we try to bring in experts that can give kind of a different view and actually just talk about it, right? And so, yeah, totally agree with you on that. And Chatty, what is your tip for shop owners? You're living in the shop. You've got 5 shops. You just opened one recently, you said. So what is a tip for them? We all hear how successful your shops are. Of course, it's hard work. I know it didn't just happen because you opened it and all of a sudden it's successful. So give us a good tip.
Yeah, okay. It is really hard, and as you know, we're in a recession right now, and sales are falling. So I'm putting a strategy together to fix that. It just started a couple months ago, happening to everybody. Everyone's messaging me, asking me. I always say, don't be afraid to spend money. The number one thing, I think, marketing. You got to market. And that's why I partnered with RepairLift for our POS. Like, we're going to be able to do some really cool things because we're integrating marketing like never before with indisputably the best marketing agency for repair out there. Like, RepairLift they're the best. You gotta market. You can't be afraid to spend money. Like, remember last time, Nicole, I mentioned spend money. You have to. So many business owners want to run a business with no money. They don't want to spend on radio advertising. They don't want to spend on Google advertising. They don't want to spend money on Samsung stock. I don't know, keeping it in. You need to put a strategy together so that you're earning enough capital that you could spend money. Maybe you want to buy a 3D machine from Red Fox Technology. Sounds really cool to me. I mean, to be able to print a case. Yeah. If you don't make enough profits and you're afraid to spend that in your business, your competition is going to put you out of business. So you got to spend money and you got to grow your company.
That's funny that you bring that up, Chatty, because when me and Corey had a live this week in one of the groups, and it was really awesome. And we talked about shop owners not always even knowing their profit line, that they live like deposit to deposit. Instead of check to check, it's deposit to deposit. And that is sad. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, I've been there, especially when I first got the shops kind of unloaded on me. There was in a very big financial crisis. It's why my child's father committed suicide. It was being investigated by the IRS. We were being audited. It was a big mess. And I'm have a bookkeeping background. I own a bookkeeping company, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I had to go through and just redo all of the financials. And then I got a really good glimpse of what was going on and where money was leaking and why. And I was able to fix it and then know exactly what I have to invest, and then know that I needed to put money to get things first. For many years, I had the mindset that I needed the money to come in to then invest in the thing. And when I remember the big shift that I had is when I brought on my first contractor, Michelle Cox. I met her. I thought she was brilliant. I said, man, if I could hire this woman, this could change my business, but I don't have the money to hire her. And I said, you know what? Let me hire her and the money will come. And it's exactly what happened. And from there, it changed my business, because everything I do, I'm like, I will put that there, and it's gonna bring in more, or it's gonna like free me up, which is what Michelle did. So when I brought Michelle on, it brought in a whole other revenue stream that I didn't have before, but I wasn't guaranteed to have just by paying her. And then it also freed up time for me to be more creative for the business and the brand. And it was just life changing. But that shift is very hard to say, going from I don't have and can't do to let me bite the bullet and do it, and then it will happen. That mindset shift is very difficult. And actually, Corey talked about that. So that's a really good topic.
You got to make a mess. You got to make a mess and then clean it up. That's the best way to do it. You don't know what you just go out there and mess it all up, and then you'll fix it, and then you'll make some money.
Yeah. And I will say, my tip before we go would be get your books in order. Know how to track your expenses. Like, this trip is a write-off. Going to dinner with colleagues is a write-off, but you have to, it's okay. But you have to document it properly. And so if you are someone that struggles with record keeping, bookkeeping, maybe you do have a bookkeeper, but you still want to understand more about what's going on behind the scenes. The RFA, after the GRE, I'm going to be launching a series over a few months. I'm going to be doing frequent, just small group Zoom calls with members and teaching them how to use QuickBooks to manage or understand their books, even if they have a bookkeeper. And I think that that's really game changing. So sign up for the RFA if you need that.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, the show is just a few days away, and I'll see all of you there. Thank you for being on the live. We only have 2 more lives. I don't know if any of you will be on, but thank you. And everybody have a great day. If you're watching, make sure to get your ticket. And there's the free code. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.